She walked onto the scorching desert base like just another junior technician, quiet, unnoticed, carrying nothing but a clipboard and a butterfly tattoo on her arm. But within minutes, the same men who mocked her would fall silent. A broken bar because the most feared SEAL commander on the base suddenly stopped mid-stride, snapped into a salute, and addressed her with a title none of them ever expected. Which part of the country are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. The sun beat down mercilessly on Falcon Ridge Military Base, painting the air in waves of heat that shimmered off the sand. The morning drill had just ended, and the soldiers lingered by the barrels, laughing, stretching, catching their breath. Among them walked Leela Avery, a civilian maintenance tech assigned to oversee equipment checks. To most people, she was invisibly another worker in task scrubs with a clipboard in hand and a soft, unreadable expression. But today, it wasn't Leela's clipboard that caught attention. It was a tattoo on her upper arm, a delicate butterfly with sharp geometric patterns woven into its wings. Nice ink, one soldier chuckled as she passed, nudging his body. What is that? A Girl Scout Special Forces, another chimed in. Maybe she thinks pretty tattoos earn rank around here. Leela didn't react. She simply continued scanning the equipment log, her face calm, almost detached. She had heard worse. She had endured worse. Hey, one of the soldiers called out louder, you need help carrying that clipboard, ma'am. Looks heavy. Leela looked up, her eyes steady. I'm good, she said softly before moving past them. They laughed again. Then everything changed. A sharp whistle pierced through the air, followed by the heavy thud of boots marching purposefully across the sand. The soldiers turned, their laughter died instantly. Approaching from the command building was Commander Michael Ransell, a legendary SEAL officer, feared by most, respected by all. He carried himself like a man carved out of stone, tall, unshakable, every step precise. Commander on deck. Someone shouted, straightening immediately. Ranson didn't even acknowledge them. His eyes had locked onto something else. Yes, someone else. Leela. And for a moment, something unreadable flickered across his face. Recognition, shock, respect, a broken bar, and something surprisingly close to relief. Without hesitation, Commander Ranson came to a full stop in front of her, drew a sharp breath, and lifted his hand into a crisp salute. A deep, commanding salute, directed at her. Every soldier froze. Ranson held the salute a beat longer before speaking, his voice steady. Ma'am, it's an honor to meet you again. Again? The soldiers exchanged silent, wide-eyed looks. Leela's expression remained calm, but a hint of sadness passed through her eyes. You didn't have to do that, she said quietly. You earned it, Ranson replied. We wouldn't be here without you. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Leela exhaled slowly and turned to the stunned group of soldiers. Back to your tasks, gentlemen, she said in a voice that was no longer quiet, no longer timid, no longer ignorable. It carried authority, experience, command. But the soldiers didn't move. They had questions, too many questions. Ranson broke the tension. You boys know that butterfly she's got on her arm? He pointed at the tattoo. That's not a fashion piece. That's the insignia of Operation Mariposa, a classified until last year, the op that saved an entire SEAL unit from ambush. One of the soldiers gulped. But a broken bar, sir, a broken bar. That op was led by A. Avery, Ranson finished for him. Codename Monarch. He turned to Leela again. The one who infiltrated hostile territory alone. The one who coordinated extraction under fire. The one who refused to take rank because she didn't want credit, only closure. Silence blanketed the base. Leela shifted uncomfortably. That was years ago. I'm just here doing maintenance now. But Ranson shook his head. You're here because you never cared about the spotlight. But respect, you'll get it whether you want it or not. A truck crumbled in the distance, sending a gust of dust across the yard. As it settled, the soldiers stood straight, really looking at her now. The jokes were gone, the smirks erased. In their place, admiration, awe, and apology. The youngest soldier stepped forward nervously. Ma'am, a broken bar, we didn't know. You weren't supposed to, Leela answered gently. That's how covert ops work. Ranson nodded. But they know now, and they will act accordingly. One by one, the soldiers lifted their hands into a salute, each slower, more hesitant, but sincere. This time, Leela accepted it, not because she needed validation, but because she understood something important. Legends aren't always born from rank. Sometimes, they're carried quietly by people who never ask to be seen. Ranson lowered his voice so that only she could hear. There's talk in Washington. They want you back. Fire clearance. Advisory role. Leela looked toward the horizon and toward the heat, the endless sand, the ghosts of old missions. I'll think about it, she said softly. Ranson smiled faintly. That's all they ask. As he walked away, the soldiers stepped aside with new respect, and Leela Every, former ghost operative, once mocked for her tattoo, continued her walk across the dusty base, the butterfly on her arm catching the sunlight like a badge earned through fire. She didn't need to prove anything. She never. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe for more dramatic military mysteries and twists.